Hello and welcome to Rise and Unwind. My name is Dan. You know, each and every week I talk to people from across the country about things you could do in your neighborhood. And on this week's show...
And I understand it because I'm also shoving their heads together, but the characters don't listen to me, so...
All of that and more right here on Rise and Unwind. You know, as the summer winds down, a lot of us are just trying to keep that healthy energy going into fall. So how do we keep our metabolism working for us all year long? So joining me is Dr. Luigi Gratton, Vice President of the Office of Health and Wellness at Herbalife, to share tips on maintaining metabolic health and introduce a new clean label supplement. Welcome, Dr. Gratton. How are you, my friend?
Thank you for having me, Dan. I'm doing great. We're out here in Southern California, and I appreciate your time.
All right, let's start simple. When we talk about metabolic health, what exactly does that mean?
Yeah. Metabolic health is kind of trending right now, right? So when I was in medical school, Dan, no one talked about it. It was like we talked about indicators of disease called metabolic syndrome. That was a different thing. Metabolic health is really about how efficiently you use the fuel in your food in your body. So let me give you a good metabolic health scenario. You're having fresh fruits and vegetables. You're eating lean cuts of red meat, chicken, fish throughout the day. Really balanced nutrition. You're doing exercise, getting good sleep. That's a good metabolic health scenario because you're efficiently using the food that you're eating as fuel. A bad scenario would be if I woke up, had fast food throughout the day, 3-4 times a day, lots of fat, sugar, salts, and I didn't exercise and I didn't get good sleep. Bad metabolic health scenario. So what we really want people to strive for is balanced nutrition and making sure they're taking care of how efficiently they're using their food. That's the key.
And why does metabolism naturally slow down as we age? And why is it so important to pay attention to that?
Yeah, that's a great question, Dan, because, I'm 55 years of age, Dan. I remember when I was 25, how great I felt. I mean, I still feel amazing. But at the age of 25, all of us kind of peak with our muscle mass, our bone mineral density, a lot of our hormones are in peak condition. And then it's an inevitable age-related decline. Now, that's the bad news. The good news is you can fight that. You can actually reverse that with nutrition, with sleep, with good exercise. All those things together help to support metabolic health. And one last thing, Dan, an important thing to mention is botanical ingredients. I'm on the set here with oranges and some red chili peppers and hibiscus and coffee beans. All of these plants have different extracts, compounds, which help support metabolic health and support the process.
And what are some everyday things that people can do to through that diet, exercise, or sleep to keep their metabolism on track?
Yeah, that's a great question, Dan. The things that people can do is really follow their own nutrition philosophy. I've got mine, I work at a company that has one, but think about the basics that your body needs. It's truly what the human body needs. It's protein. So you got to find some source of protein. You might be vegan or vegetarian. Maybe you want soybean or tofu. If you're an omnivore, carnivore like me, it's steak, chicken, fish, whatever you like. So you got to hit your protein number. That's essential and that's well established. The other thing is fiber. You've got to make sure that you're not only getting good digestion, going to the bathroom regularly, but you're also feeding the healthy bacteria in your gut called the microbiome. There's a lot of other chapters of this nutrition philosophy, but what's really important are the botanicals that we spoke of. All these nutrients, whether you're having blueberries that support your eye health so you don't get macular degeneration, or you're having tomatoes that are cooked so that you can support some of your cardiovascular health. All these botanicals, these nutrients, we were meant to eat. Mother Nature wanted us to eat them because these different colorful fruits and vegetables help support the body and support your metabolic health.
And you've brought something new called Multi-Burn. What makes this product stand out, especially for people looking for some of those clean label supplements?
Yeah, we're very excited, Dan, about this new product, Multi-Burn. We launched it recently. It's doing very well. And it's really a multifaceted approach to weight loss. It's a non-pharmaceutical, so it's not a medication. It's botanically based, which you just described, all these nutrients from plants, but they're clinically tested ingredients which work on different pathways for weight loss. Now, it supports metabolic health, all the stuff we've been talking about, but it's specifically focused on weight loss. So it helps with overall weight loss, with focus on fat reduction, leaning up in the waist and the hip in terms of circumference, keeping a body mass index. All these indicators of metabolic health, which are really important for weight loss, that's what the product does. I should add in clean label because you asked. It's gluten-free. It's suitable for vegetarians and vegans. It's also free of artificial colors, and there's no dyes in the product. So to your clean label question.
There's also like a preferred member program. Can you explain what it is and how it benefits people that want to stay committed to their wellness goals?
Yeah, it's a great question, Dan. The preferred member program is very simple. It's basically a preferred customer who can get our products at a discount. So if any of this interests folks who are listening, they can go on to Herbalife.com. The website is this beautiful umbrella website, and they can look at the products, look at our nutrition philosophy, learn about multi-burn. They can also order products from an independent distributor, or if they want to become a preferred member, they can simply sign up and they can get the products at a discount for their own consumption. So whatever their choice is, they can go to Herbalife.com and they'll find all that information.
Dr. Luigi Gratton, you were the man. Thanks for hanging out this morning.
Thank you, Dan.
Food recalls always grab attention, and they're happening more often than people actually realize. A new survey shows shoppers are worried, but also confident that recalls work to keep us safe. With September being Food Safety Month, we're taking a closer look. So joining us is Bob Carpenter, President and CEO of GS1 US. Welcome to the show, Bob. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you doing this morning, Dan?
I'm doing okay this morning, actually, which is a little different than normal. Bob, what are some of the main reasons food products get recalled, and how does technology help spot and remove them a little quicker?
Sure. So, typically we see about 4 reasons food products get recalled. And there are things like undeclared allergens, like wheat or milk, contamination from bacteria, Salmonella or E. coli. A foreign object may get into a food product when it's being manufactured. Think a piece of glass or a piece of metal, or label inaccuracies, which require the brand owner to remove that product. And I think the encouraging thing is with advances in science and technology around traceability, using the 12 digits in the barcode, we're better able now to identify those products and remove them from the market very, very quickly.
So which foods tend to be more at risk for recalls, and what can people do to check if something they bought is actually affected?
Well, while many products can be susceptible to a recall, it's usually those items located in the perimeter of the store. So think lettuce, cut vegetables, eggs, cheese. Those items are most susceptible to recalls. And any recall is usually identified with a 12-digit number that's in the UPC barcode and is also limited to a certain time period in states in the United States. So consumers look at their product if they're in one of those affected states and check the number on their products to make sure that it hopefully doesn't match the number that's being recalled. Therefore, they can serve it with reassurance and safety to their family. As GS1 US monitors those 12-digit numbers, it really underscores the importance of having those numbers being unique and accurate and up to date so that in the event of a recall, we can locate the product and remove it.
And also, you guys just released a survey. What stood out about how consumers react when they hear about a recall?
I think what stood out is the fact that consumer trust and behavior is really impacted by recalls. 60% of consumers will avoid a category that's been recalled, think lettuce or romaine or something to that extent. 59% will avoid those categories in the future as well. And some really interesting distinctions between older shoppers that are a little more accepting of circling back and buying products after a recall versus younger shoppers that are a little more conservative and hesitant to go back and purchase those items. I think lastly, what we found is 57% of households would discard a food product even if they were located in a state outside of where the recall took place. So some real food safety and food waste implications that we're finding based upon how consumers react to recalls.
And why should we look at recalls as a sign of progress in food safety? And what other steps are being taken to kind of help keep that public safe?
Well, I think food recalls are really a sign of a more proactive food safety system hard at work through science, through technology, through better food safety prevention. And even though I know the frequency of food recalls can be concerning for consumers, it's really a sign of a more effective food system at work. With that in mind, though, we do know that there's some upcoming regulation that the FDA is working on that comes into compliance in 2028 that's going to require food retailers and food service restaurants that are handling high-risk foods to make sure that they're maintaining records such that if some of those foods are affected by a recall, they can produce those records in a 24-hour period, and that food can be located very, very very quickly so we can remove it from the shelf. So based upon the use of GS1 standards, better technology for traceability, we're really making strong strides in removing that product as quickly as we can in the event of a recall.
And finally, if people want more information or maybe some resources, where should they go?
Sure, they can go to gs1us.org/food recall.
Bob Carpenter, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
Parents are getting kids ready with new backpacks and supplies, but one of the most important back to the school items is it's really easy to miss. It's an eye exam. Healthy vision is key for learning, and many kids don't even realize they're struggling to see. So today we're joined by Dr. Cate Jordan, a board-certified pediatric ophthalmologist, to share why vision screenings matter and how families can get help through All Children See program. Welcome to the show, Dr. Jordan. How are you?
Thank you. I'm well. Thanks so much for having me.
Okay, so why should regular vision screenings be such a priority for kids heading back to school?
Vision screenings are so helpful to find and detect problems early on. So kids can be referred for a comprehensive eye exam and have any problems treated early. Early treatment is so important for kids' vision. As you said, a lot of times kids don't realize that they can't see well. They just assume that everybody sees the way that they do. Or if they have a lazy eye, one eye is seeing fine and the other eye doesn't see well. And they don't realize that that's a problem because they see fine with one eye.
So what are some of the common signs parents could be looking for that might mean their child is having these troubles?
Yeah, if a child is struggling to read at their grade level, that's a really important sign to look for. If they're squinting, to look far away, especially at the board or at the TV, or moving closer to things. They're holding books or tablets close to their face. If they have any eye muscle problems, they may squint an eye when they go outside. They may cover an eye when they're reading or close an eye when reading. Those are all really important signs to get evaluated early on.
Is there like a best time of year for children to go get their eyes checked?
The vision screenings are really helpful at the beginning of the school year. A lot of schools will do that, or health fairs, or the primary care provider, or the Lions Club. Those vision screenings will help detect and flag for any possible problems. And then kids can get referred early in the school year to get evaluated and potentially treated for glasses or any other problems with their vision or their eyes. And then it sets them up for success for the rest of their academic year. In addition, kids' eyes grow and change every year. So that annual vision screening is really helpful just to remember at the beginning of the year, so that even if they passed a vision screen the year before, their eyes might have grown and changed over that year. And so this current year, the vision screening is so helpful to continue.
All right, can you tell us about this All Children See program and how it kind of helps families?
Yeah, the Children's Eye Foundation of APOS launched All Children See in 2020 as the first direct patient care program. It connects U.S. families with pediatric ophthalmologists to provide no-cost eye care and exams to children without insurance or access to vision care. It's currently available in over 30 states and in Washington, D.C. area. And it's a really wonderful program for children that currently don't have access to insurance for vision care.
So where can parents go find more and even see if their child qualifies?
Yeah, the allchildrensee.org website will tell them all that information, including if they qualify for the program. That's allchildrensee.org. They can also go to the Children's Eye Foundation.org website to look for more information about the programs. And just in general, to find out more about children's eye health and how to find a doctor, they can, a pediatric ophthalmologist in their area, they can go to aapos.org. And that's our American Association for Pediatric Ophthalmology and Strabismus website. And it's the most up-to-date website for information about kids' eye health.
Dr. Jordan, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much, Dan, for having me.
What if instead of dying, you could be uploaded into a digital afterlife, complete with luxury, tech, and maybe a few glitches? Well, that's the wild setup of Upload, the sci-fi comedy from Greg Daniels, creator of The Office and Parks and Rec. The show imagines a future with holographic phones, AI assistants, and even 3D food printers. where the afterlife is just another subscription plan. The 4-part finale is now streaming on Prime Video, and joining us is comedian and actress Zainab Johnson, who plays Alicia. Welcome to the show, Zainab. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, the finale is here. Well, what can fans expect from these last 4 episodes without giving away too many of the spoilers?
The fans can definitely expect closure. They can expect us taking everything that they've seen throughout the series, you know, seasons 1 through 3. They can expect that to be heightened, you know, but also definitely closure. So really big comedic moments, really big fun moments, stunts, of course, you know, introducing new technology, you know, solving kind of like solving a mystery, but also in terms of like the will they, won't they, the love story between the trouble of Nathan, Ingrid, and Nora. I think the fans will appreciate a bit of closure in that department.
And Alicia's been through so much in Lakeview. How did you want to see her story land in this kind of finale?
I really enjoy seeing Alicia succeed. I feel like that was important to me. And I think that was important to show because Alicia, in a very different way, is like a morality character, you know, like she often battles with like doing the right thing for the right reasons or the wrong reasons, et cetera, et cetera. By this last season, her not only like, you know, getting a lot of promotions, but also sort of being a double agent in a sense and really sort of working within the system to sort of change it and fix it or protect the people from it. I think that was a wonderful way for me to sort of show how much she has grown.
And Greg Daniels, I'm a huge fan. He balances humor and heart really, really well. What moments while shooting these episodes really captured that for you?
The humor and the heart. In this fourth season, I mean, there's so many moments, but like in this 4th season, there's a scene where the AI guy is just, you know, he's kind of like distraught because his AI girlfriend, you know, has broken up with him. And it's such a silly scene, but Alicia goes in and not only Alicia and Luke, they go in and they comfort him through what is like a really, really silly, like in the essence of it, it's silly, but also the way it's filmed. It's like he's laying on the floor in an elevator and it's just like hitting his head, you know, like the physical comedy of it all. But for us to not really focus on that and to really just focus on like, oh, okay, well, he's having this human experience and he's feeling pain and sadness, and we have to help him through this. I feel like that's a really good example and one of my favorite moments this season of like balancing this like, you know, like really, really huge humor moments, but also like the heart of the show.
And you're also not just Alicia, you're also a stand-up comedian and a host. How does your comedy background shape the way you approach a character on screen?
I mean, I'm always like trying to look for the funny, you know, like I'm always like, you know, like it's fun to be funny, although in the scene as the character, it's not really funny to you. You're playing it genuine. And that happens for me a lot on stage too. When I'm doing my stand-up, while the audience is like laughing really hard, I am typically like playing the jokes that I'm saying very straight or really living through the experience, which could have been like sort of like, I don't know, dramatic for me, but I'm allowing the audience to sort of laugh at it. And I feel like that has really helped me in terms of like, you know, acting, not just on Upload, but, you know, any other work as well.
Zainab Johnson, thanks for joining us this morning. You can stream the complete 4-part finale of Upload right now on Prime Video. Share your favorite moments with hashtag UploadTV and follow @Upload on Prime for more. Zainab, thanks for joining me this morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You ever wish your workplace felt more like a fairy tale or maybe a villain's lair? Millions of readers have fallen in love with a TikTok series that turned into a best-selling book phenomenon. The latest chapter, Accomplice to the Villain, is already topping the New York Times list. So joining us is author Nicole Maehrer, whose mix of magic, romance, and humor has made her one of today's most exciting voices in romantasy. Is that really a word? Welcome to the show, Hannah. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing my best, but I guess I'm still here. Your book started as a fun TikTok series of skits. How did these short videos grow into like a best-selling book series?
Oh my gosh. I think the idea was born on TikTok. So with each video that I posted, the story kind of started to develop itself. These characters started to feel like real and tangible to me. And it became such a exciting idea in my head that I couldn't stand it just sitting in my mind anymore. So I had to sit down to write it. It was probably the most words I've ever written in one sitting. It was like 10,000 words because I'd been waiting to write it. It like spilled out of me. I've never been able to repeat that word count in one sitting. I would love to. I've never seen that girl again. But yeah, that's how it kind of born into a TikTok series to book. And I got to document it all on TikTok.
Fans describe Accomplice to the Villain as Once Upon a Time meets The Office. What inspired you to like blend fantasy with like one of these workplace comedies?
I think it was a lot of the things I consumed growing up. I was a huge fan of Shrek. I loved The Princess Bride, Ella Enchanted, Stardust, like very quirky, fun fairy tales that kind of flip around the story a little bit, but add like a whole bunch of whimsy. And that's what I grew up consuming, and that's all of my favorite stories. So writing a book that kind of incorporates all of those things while also incorporating villains, which is my other favorite thing, was kind of, I think, just a quick pipeline from everything that I consumed as a child to now.
Evie and the villain have such a unique dynamic. What can readers expect from their relationship in this latest book?
Same push pill, slow burn romance that we've always had, but obviously with each book, the tension gets amped up because, you know, we're progressing slowly but surely. The slow burn is probably the most joyous and complaints that I get. It's the in tandem together, and I understand it because I'm also shoving their heads together, but the characters don't listen to me. So I'm just kind of babysitting them at this point.
You're like, please kiss, kiss. Okay, I can see that imagery already. You've built a huge community online. How does that instant feedback from the fans help shape your writing?
Oh my gosh, I think it was such a huge motivator when I was writing the book. And I realized how rare that is when you're sitting and writing a book. It's usually such an isolating experience because it's just you and your computer. But with this experience, it was me and my computer. But every time I wrote an excerpt I was really excited about, I would go and I would share it with the audience that had been following along with the TikTok skits and also loved the characters just as much as I do. So it's a really unique experience, but it was definitely motivating while in the writing journey to hear people say, I can't wait to read your book. Hearing that in and of itself was a wild thing. It still is a wild thing to me. So it's amazing.
And since fandom is so deep on this, is there like an issue managing expectations when writing the next chapter? Because sometimes fans take it over and kind of adopt it as their own, and they get upset when things are changing. Is that something there?
I encourage people to do that, I think, because this story isn't just mine. It's for everybody that needs it, and everybody that wants to be a part of it is welcome to be a part of it. So I encourage that. I actually think it's really important. But when I go in to write, I don't think about anything else but the characters. I kind of have tunnel vision. So I don't worry about expectations. I don't worry about disappointing anybody because the only thing I'm focused on is making sure I'm doing the right thing for the characters and the right thing for the story. And as long as I'm doing that, that's the compass I follow. I think you can't go wrong because you can't please everybody. So if you try to go that route, you're going to fail every single time. So always stick true to what's true for you.
Hannah, thank you for joining me. Accomplice to the Villain is out now wherever books are sold, and the hardcover special edition of Assistant of the Villain arrives September 16th. So don't miss your chance to dive into this magical, laugh out loud world. Thanks for being here, Hannah.
Thank you so much for having me. It was lovely chatting with you.
From pop hits to powerful faith-filled anthems, Stars Go Dim has built a global following. Now, frontman Chris Cleveland is back with a brand new album called Roses, a project years in the making that blends retro grooves with heartfelt lyrics. He also just celebrated a milestone moment with his debut at the Grand Ole Opry. Chris joins us now to talk about it all. Welcome to the show, Chris. How are you, my friend?
Doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Roses, it was just released. What was the inspiration behind this album, and how does it reflect where you are right now in life?
Oh, so much. I think anytime with music, the best way to make it is to make music that means something to you in the moment and just to be as honest as possible. And so this record is the first record I produced 100% myself. And so it's the most authentic me record. It's really vintage. It's really soulful. It's vibey. And then just the content of the album is all about just taking a step back, like really slowing down and seeing like the greatest pieces of life are in these small moments that sometimes, if we're too busy, we just fly past. And so hopefully, as people hear this, they have a really good time as they listen to the record, but they can also slow down and enjoy those small pieces and moments of life.
And the album, it mixes faith and everyday life in a really unique way. Can you share how your songwriting process brought those themes together?
Absolutely. I think with this album, I wrote every single song from one question. It's a question I've asked myself a lot of times, especially if you're a person of faith, is like, in the very best and in the very worst of life, how does this thing work with God? Like, how does he meet us? Does it? And these songs are kind of answers to those questions. And as I went through, I think I realized more and more, especially with my co-writers, that I think God meets us the most in these seemingly small moments. And not saying that these big, huge miracles and things can't happen. It just hasn't been my experience in life. But what I have seen is the incredible joy, the incredible love, the incredible life, the incredible faith through those small moments. And so that's what a lot of these songs, every song, is all about.
And also, congratulations on making your debut at the Grand Ole Opry. That's pretty massive.
Thanks.
How was that night like for you?
Incredible. You know, I've been traveling and playing since I was 10 years old. I turned 40 this year, so 30 years. And so it felt like a really awesome celebration of a career. And I grew up in Oklahoma, and so my grandma was a songwriter. And so I've always been aware of the Opry and how much it meant. And so my family and I have lived in Nashville now for almost a decade. And so to be able to walk on that stage where so many people have been before, it was a really special moment.
And one of your standout tracks is your song, which you dedicated to fans. What is some of the what is that connection with your listeners mean to you?
Everything. I think I wrote this song specifically for people. Like, if you've ever needed just a song to make you feel better than you do right now, that's what your song is all about. From the lyric to the feel, as soon as it comes on, you just want to crank it up, throw the windows down, and just blast it. And hopefully when you do that, you're going to feel better once the song is over than when it started. And that's what your song is all about, just to make you feel great.
Chris, thanks for joining me this morning. Check out Chris Cleveland's new album, Roses, From Stars Go Dim. It's out now everywhere music is sold and streamed. For more information on the music, videos, and tour dates, just go to his website, starsgodim.com. Thanks for joining me this morning, Chris.
You bet, man. Thank you.
That's it for Rise and Unwind. I want to thank you for tuning in and checking out the show. If you actually want to be on the show, go to our website, riseunwindtv.com. Fill out the form, send it in, and maybe you could be on a future episode. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. Just look up at Rise Unwind. Also, if you want to find us on YouTube, that is also at Rise Unwind. And until next week, that was Rise and Unwind.